Hey y'all, welcome into my living room. I'm here with two very, very, very special women. And this one right here, I've known for 75 years. And the other one, we have been family since 2010. Sandy spent the last 9 years of my brother's life with him. When he brought Bubba home, when Bubba brought Sandy home, we were thrilled beyond belief. How Bubba managed to pluck an angel from the sky. I'll never know. I will never know. But to me, Sandy is the closest to my grandmother Hires that I've ever met. My grandmother Hires was the finest Christian woman. She had a 4th grade education, and when I would be able to go and stay with her some, she would read the Bible to me every night. All these huge words that I certainly couldn't pronounce, but yet she just read it like she had graduated from Harvard. It was amazing to me. And Sandy is that kind of person. The finest Christian woman you have ever met. And she was so good to my brother. And she was right there with us when Bubba passed away. We were all touching him, weren't we? We were all touching him. And it's hard to believe that Bubba has been gone 3 years and 4 months. It's hard to believe. And of course, my Aunt Peggy, what can I say about her? She has been my mentor, my biggest cheerleader when I thought I couldn't put another foot in front of each other. She would tell me, well, you damn well can. And she would get in her car and drive over right by herself from Albany because she knew I needed that moral support so very badly. She's been such an influence in my life. She's a fabulous businesswoman. She's 93. Did I forget to tell y'all that? We should be so lucky to look like this at 93. I'm glad to know I got some blood of hers running through my veins, y'all. There may be hope for me yet. When I was a young woman, I read the book, A Woman of Substance. And I said, oh my goodness, that's what I want to be when I grow up. I was 21, I think Jamie was born. And I said, that's what I want to be when I grow up. I'm still working on it, y'all. But these women are women of substance. And I hope I can soak up everything good that they have to offer. So, can you believe it's another Christmas? You have spent 93 Christmases.
I know. I know. But
what is your earliest memory
of
Christmas? Yes.
Oh, probably about 4 years old.
And how was it?
It was very simple, and during the Depression, it was really simple. But we did not realize
that you were poor.
Right. Anyway, that you look at it, we just did not realize that, and it was just a quiet.
Did you get anything for Christmas? Did Santa Claus bring you anything?
As far as I can remember, Paula, seems like we always got a doll. And
I wish you'd have said
maybe 3 items at the most would be what we would get. Of course, there would be a lot of beautiful food, cakes, and that type of.
Grandma's Japanese fruit cake. Did she make it back then that far back?
Yes. In fact, I never remember my mother when she did not know how to cook and cook fine.
Yes. I didn't realize until I was probably in my 50s that Grandmama was a gourmet cook. Yes. I didn't know that. I just classified her as a country cook.
Uh-huh.
But Grandmama knew how to back a turtle. She knew how to produce the finest turtle soup. There was nothing that she, rabbit, squirrel.
Uh-huh.
And to me, that was real country. But then when I got to go to New York and I saw rabbit on the menus in these uppity restaurants, I said, "Oh, Grandmama, you was a gourmet cook."
And she was her pastries and the food that came out of her oven that she made. It was all just so good, and you would not think of what a fine production it was. But and we were so, we were used to that. And you would thought that she had gone to a culinary school.
Yes,
Oh, wow.
yes. Do you have any memories of Mama at Christmas?
Your mother? Oh, absolutely. She was still really in charge.
She was a redhead now, y'all. So
Yes, and she was a really strong young person in her will. I mean, she did it her way. Until she gave birth to you. And just as soon as you came in, she went out. She just got calmed down, and
That's
I
what you
almost
told
never heard her raise her voice.
I never heard my mother raise her voice. Never.
But not-
Never.
Another,
Except maybe when she's spanking me, it'd go up a little notch.
right. With me, she always had this emotion. She could slap me across the room almost.
Because you were a little old skinny, ratty
Yes.
looking tomboy.
And
I got pictures. I can prove it.
and she didn't want me following her. She didn't want me getting into her path. That was
And she was
prohibited.
like 2 years older than you, but in looks,
I was
like 5 or
immature.
6. It was like 5 or 6 years difference.
I was
Because-
very immature. In fact, I
And Mama
still
was
am.
she matured very. Mama matured early.
Oh yes.
How about you, Sandy? What's your first memory?
Oh, wow. I don't know
Christmas.
if I have a first memory. I just remember, I was just sitting here thinking about it, that I always, when I would get a doll, I loved to smell their heads. And I can smell a doll's head now. You can tell. I don't know if they really smell the same as they did then, but they just.
What did they smell like?
I don't know. They just smell like a doll's head. I don't know why, but
And what kind of doll?
Particular. Oh, I don't remember what kind I got. That's a long time ago.
I know. Well, I remember my favorite doll. I remember my 5th Christmas, because that was the Christmas that I was an only child.
Oh.
Because Bubba was born the following February. And I got everything in the world that Christmas. I got a bicycle. I got my Mary Hartline doll that I wanted so very badly. And somehow I kept her for years and years and years, but somehow she went missing
Oh.
along with my other 50 dolls.
50?
And Jimmy Deen told me, and he said, "I'm tired of moving these dolls, Paula." So I kind of think he might have.
Lost the box. They ran.
Yeah. But anyway, Mary Hartline was she was a band member. And she had that red and white outfit with a little skirt and a baton and the white boots. I adored her.
She had a cheerleader's look, which you would have.
But she was actually a majorette in the band. But she kind of looked like a cheerleader except for those boots. But I got a bicycle. I got that Mary Hartline doll. I mean, I got everything I wanted. I don't think that ever happened again.
Everybody. I came from the hills of Kentucky, so we didn't have designer dolls.
Yes. You probably got homemade dolls, didn't you?
Well, we got dolls, but I don't remember a particular designer.
And what about the food? What do you remember about the food?
Oh, wow. My dad always cooked.
Did he?
My dad cooked.
I don't think
'cause
you've ever
he
told me
cooked in
that.
the military for officers. So, and my mom didn't cook when they married, so he taught her to cook. But he He did most of the cooking, so
Wow.
it was always a treat.
He was a good cook.
Yeah, he's an excellent cook.
What was his favorite thing that you remember?
Beef stew. And we'd come home from church on Sunday afternoons, and he'd always put ketchup in that beef stew. I don't know why, but I love the breakfast. He could make the best gravy and biscuits.
Oh my God.
I always loved his breakfast.
Well, did your mother wind up becoming a good cook after training under him for years?
She didn't. She never really liked to cook. My mom had a good business sense about her after my dad passed away, and she had to supplement income. So she loved to, she had some really good experiences with selling World Book Encyclopedia.
Oh my God.
And became like the largest salesperson of the year and got an award. And she never
From
drove.
the U.S., across the U.S.
She never drove, but
How did she get around to sell those
walk
books?
and telephone. She'd call people up on the telephone and sell them a set of expensive encyclopedias, and then she'd call my brother to come and deliver them.
Selling encyclopedias was a way of so many people, females and males, making a
Supplement.
living during the Depression.
Somebody knocked on our door, and I still have them, the encyclopedias that Mama and Daddy bought.
Yeah.
And I was probably 12 or 13 at the time. And like I said, they were white. Do you remember your mama selling white ones?
The World Book, yeah.
Yes, the World Book. The World Book.
And everybody had a set in their home.
That's
yeah.
exactly right. That's exactly right.
That's the only way we had access to the world
Mm-hmm.
at that
right.
time.
That was the internet.
Yes.
That was our
that was our internet. Yes, it was.
Yeah.
So here we are at Christmas time. Do y'all have any hopes or resolutions for the new year?
Would you believe that I haven't even thought about Christmas?
So if she hadn't thought about Christmas, she sure ain't thought about the new year.
Well, I've been busy thinking about myself.
Aunt Peggy's primary doctor is located here in Savannah. We set her up during COVID when we kidnapped her and kept her for 6 months because Albany was running rampant with COVID at the time. So we got her out of there. But so she has to come over to see her Dr. Bozik. She loves her Dr. Bozik. So y'all know I have never been one to make New Year's resolutions.
No.
You know why? Because I'm just setting myself up for failure and disappointment.
Yeah.
So I like to say I'm gonna try to do so and so in the new year. But no, I don't make resolutions. I know I'll break them.
I think most people are that way.
Yeah. But I'm so glad that Sandy happened to be here. Her dentist is still here in Savannah because, like I said, she was with Bubba the last 9 years of his life. So she had her dentist and her doctor and everything here. So she has to come to the dentist here, and I'm so happy.
Yeah, I have
What medical?
I said, isn't that strange that we both, in time,
Yeah.
we ended up being here, and that's wonderful. We don't want to be sick, but
No.
And besides, the food is so good.
yes, it's just a wonderful opportunity. Do we need to get in more doctors so we can come more often?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll just stop and pick you up from now on.
Sandy went to Albany and picked up Aunt Peggy for us last Wednesday. And I was working. What was I doing? I was working. Oh, I was doing YouTube shows.
Yeah.
I was filming. So this has just been like a Christmas present for me to have both of them because Sandy doesn't need her dentist quite as often as Aunt Peggy needs her doctor.
Time will tell, though.
Right.
So, Sandy will always be a part of my life. And I don't refer to her anymore as a friend or Bubba's girlfriend. I refer to her as my sister-in-law. Because she loved my brother and they were together for 9 years. So, there you go. That's my story and I'm sticking to it, y'all.
I agree with it all.
Yes. And as long as I have her approval, I'm good to go, y'all. That's the only approval I need. But I do wish y'all a Merry Christmas, and I hope it's filled with things that you need. I hope it's filled with peace and contentment and love. And Lulu said she does too. Lulu said that she agreed with what I've said. So I thank y'all so much for the love and the support that y'all have shown my family in the year 2022. I don't know what I'd do without y'all, without your love and support that you've given me. I get so much beautiful mail.
Oh, I
And
know.
my book signings, people come and I get to talk to them. I feel like I've known them for years. So thank y'all for that experience. And thank you for Eddie.
Hey y'all, it's Paula Deen. Now, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like it and click the subscribe button as well as the notification bell to be alerted when I post a video. Love and best dishes, y'all.